Hello, everyone. Good morning and good evening, as per your region. Thank you for joining today's session. So today's session will be taken care by Gaurav Patil, Vice President for Real Estate Support and Services at Rialtes. We have Sachin Agam, who will be helping us for the webinar coordination from the backend, and myself, Anand Unatkat. I am Associate Vice President for IT Infrastructure and Cloud Services. I just want to give a brief idea about Rialtes, what we do here. So we are a global technology consulting firm. We are partners with SAP Salesforce to bring together customer experience and technology specific to healthcare and real estate. Yeah, obviously with real estate, YARDI, and we have our own tools as well. We have offices across 5 different countries. We our offerings includes implementation, consulting, development, and design. And post go live, we support managed services as well. And we have customer across globe. When I talk about Gaurav Patil, so he has 16 years of reach and significant experience when it comes to residential and commercial real estate support. He has showcased capabilities in different segments such as ERD, residential and commercial module support, general ledger accounting, property accounting, lease abstraction, and function and report testing as well. So he has such a vast experience, when it comes to real estate support and services. Um, we will be starting the session, and then we will be having 5 minutes question and answer round at the end of the session. So please write your question under Q&A session at Zoom, or raise your hand via Zoom so we can unmute yourself, and then we can discuss on that, right? With saying that, I will hand over the session to Gaurav. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Anand. So good evening, good morning, as per your region. So in today's session, we are going to speak about the property onboardings, which we do in YARDI. So basically, we will talk about the three different methods which we do for property onboarding in YARDI, and then we will discuss about the advantages and the disadvantages of each of these methods. And apart from that, we'll also go through the property accounting, like what are the issues which are faced by the property managers while doing the property accounting, how we can automate those processes within YADI, and how it can help the property managers. Apart from that, we'll also look at the YADI managed services, like what are the YADI managed services which we do for our clients, and how we can help in YADI to do it efficiently. So let's start with the property onboarding. Let's see what is property onboarding. So basically, the property onboarding. So whenever we onboard a property, we purchase a property or we build a property, we have to like update the data in our YADI system. So basically, there will be like three different ways of like onboarding the property. One of them will be the ETL, other one will be the Y2Y, which is like YADI to YADI. Other thing will be the property copy property function. So starting with the ETL. So assuming if we are purchasing a property from a different owner, and that owner is not using YADI as an application. So there would be a chance that YADI will not have an integrations with the other application or the software. So basically, since there is no integrations, it is very difficult to pull the data from one system to other. So in that case, what we have to do is like we have to build the ETLs based upon the report which will be provided by the previous owners. So one of the issues which property manager faces is like the manual data which has to be updated. So this is very tasky area whereby we have to look into various reports. We have to pull the data from those reports and then upload it, convert it into the ETLs, and then upload in our systems. So we have to be very accurate using the data. So we have to pull the data from the rent rolls, age receivables, security deposit reports. We have to look for the roommate details, resident details, in case if the property has any amenities, any rentable items. We have to tick and tie those amenities to each of the units correctly, so that when we move the data from the YARDI to the marketplaces, it shows the details correctly. So accuracy is one of the major issues which we face while doing the ETL. So what we can do in here is like we have a set of reports. So usually what we do is like we pull the data first of all into our systems, and we tick and tie all the balances. We check if a number of residents and the roommates are showing correctly as per the report and the files which we have created. We check the security balance in our system, whereby the number of security deposits, the total amount, it matching with the rental as well, because rental will also have the security deposit details, and then security deposit report will also have those details. So we match those balance, we reconcile each of the details which we upload in our systems, so that the details looks correctly in our systems, and it goes correctly to other integrated softwares. So the major issues in ETL is like the manual work, and then we try to make it very efficient and then very correctly. Next would be the Y2Y, which is called as YARDI to YARDI. So assuming the previous owner, they are also using the YARDI software, and we are also using the same. There can be a version change, but then the version change can be sorted by loading some scripts. So in case if they are also using YARDI, so we pull the data from their systems and create an XML file. So we can select the data whichever which we want or they are willing to give us. Once we get those data, we pull that XML file and then update that into our YARDI folders. And once it is like uploaded into our YARDI folders, all we need to do in our system is do the mappings correctly. So basically there will be like a step-by-step wizard which comes with the YARDI to YARDI conversion. So those details, in that we have to like map the charge code, we have to map the GL accounts, we have to map the rentable items, unit types. So the only manual work over here will be like uploading the unit types, creating the shell, and then upload the unit types. Once it is uploaded, all we need to do is like do the mappings correctly. So for their like cash accounts, we have to like match our cash account. So say they have a code of like 001 for their cash account, and we have like 010101 as for our cash account. So we just have to map them together. And once we are done with the mapping of like the charge codes, GL accounts, rentable items, any amenities, and the other details, we just have to run the wizard, and then it will pull the data from those XML files and upload into our system. And all the data which is like available, it will automatically flow into our system. So this is like one of the best options which we have in case if we are doing the YARDI to YARDI conversion. The only issue here is like we have to be very sure that the mappings which we are doing is correct, or else the data will move into the incorrect GA course or the charge course. Although in case if we found out that the data is incorrectly moved into any charge code, we can easily change that data from the backend, so we can easily do the reclass entries as well. It's not an issue, but yeah, going correct at the first point is definitely very useful. So so Y2Y is one of the best method of conversion in YARDI. Another one will be the copy property. So basically the copy property will be we have a property in our system, and then we have an ownership change. So we will be copying the data from our system itself. So we just have to run this method, and then it will pull the data from say 01 property code to to 02 property code. So it will seamlessly pull all the details as the details we want. The only issue here which property manager faces is like the timeout issue. While doing a property copy property, usually the system times out if the data is very large. And in case if the system times out, it will roll back all the details again, so we have to start it again by doing all those steps. So it is recommendable to use copy property only if the property size is small, it is like less than 100 units and has a very limited data in terms of the previous financials. But in case if you want to copy the same property into another property, we can also use Y2Y. So we just have to pull the XML files from our system and then do all the steps in here. So one of the advantages of doing Y2Y would be like once we are done with the mapping. So in case if we receive like more properties from same owner, we don't have to do the mapping again and again. We will just create a database, we'll just do the mapping once, and then we can use those mappings again and again. So there won't be significant changes for the mapping for the charge codes and the GL codes. We just have to see in case if there are any additional GL codes or additional charge code which has come into our system, or else we can use the same mapping and just run it seamlessly. So it's a very fast, first of all, and then it pulls the data correctly without any manual intervention. So yeah, Y2Y would be the best solutions which we have while doing the property onboarding. But just in case if we don't have any integrations with the previous management applications, then we have to do it manually, which we'll be using the ETL process. So moving on with next slide, it will be property accounting. So one of the pain which property managers feels is like losing the properties on time. So the steps which we have in the property accounting are mostly manual steps. So let's see the cycle of property accounting first. So initially it will start with acquiring a building. So once we acquire the building, we will go through the onboarding steps. Once we go through the onboarding steps, we will update the residents details into our system, the past residents or the previous residents, and then the new residents we have to do the movements manually. So we have to check like what would be the dates, what would be their moving dates, what will be their lease charges, secondary deposits. So this is bit of a manual steps which every property manager has to do. Moving on from the movements, at every month we have to do the billings. So assuming we are doing a billing for like 400 properties as a stretch, so doing it for each and every property manually, it's a bit a taskier job for each of the property managers. Again, if we move forward, once we are done with the billing, the tenant has to make the payment. So once we receive the payment, again, it is very taskier job to keep a track of all the all the payments which are done. We have to look for the checks, we have to look for the ACH and any online payments. So again, this is a manual job. Again, when we do expenses for our property, we have to look for the vendors which will be providing the invoices. We have to check the invoices whether it is correct or not. We have to like input those data into our system. So once the data is uploaded, we have to make the payments. So all these steps are manual. Again, once we are done with these steps, at the month end, we have to adjust our book. We have to do the amortizations, depreciations, and trace. We have to adjust our books just in case if there are any further entries. And post that, we have to close our month. Again, closing month, it is a bit of pain. So it will be like time bounded. We have to close our property at a certain time so that all the reportings can be done on time. So again, this is like very a manual job. And again, at the year end, it will be the same issue. Like all these steps has to be done manually. So let's see how we can automate this steps. So first of all, let's see what close month has. What are the steps in close month which we have to go through manually. So moving into the close month. So first of all, what we have to do is like we have to apply credit. So we have to look for the residents which has a credit in their ledgers. So in case if they have ledgers, credit in their ledgers, we have to look for any outstanding amount and then apply those credit to the outstanding amount. Again, when we in case of the residents has done the payments in advance, we have to look for those prepayments. Again, we have to look for the outstanding amount. We have to like apply these prepayments to the outstanding amount. Then we have to clear off the write-offs. Basically, in case if the resident has moved out, and in case if they have any balances after applying to the security deposit, so those balances needs to be write off so that our books looks clean. And then we have to send those balances to the collection agencies for the collections. But again, this is like a manual job whereby we have to look for any past residents in this week or in this month. We have to look for any basically outstanding amount and then write it off to the respective codes. Again, we have to close the property. So we have to close the current month and move to the next month, the coming month. And then we have to rebuild the GL so that the balances of each of the ledger GLs looks good. Again, we have to do the monthly postings. So again, we have to go ahead and do the billings for all the residents for all the properties. And then once the balances are updated with the new billings, again, we have to go in and do the apply credits and apply prepayments. So all these steps are like manual. They have to go in and do it manually. But in YARDI, we can automate this pretty much. So in YARDI, we do have tasks. So YARDI has already created the app task which we can use to automate all these steps. So YARDI has created the app task for apply credit, apply prepayments, to write it off, close the property, rebuild GL, and all the steps which we can see on the screen. So all we need to do is like create a task, schedule the task for the properties in a specific manner of like applying credits, applying prepayments, and all these steps. And once this task is like scheduled, all we need to do is like we just have to close our details, like do all the entries which needs to be done in the system, and just go uh, keep the system ready. And once it is scheduled, it will automatically kick off in the evening or in the night as per the time which we have set. And then it will automatically looks for the residents with the credits, with the prepayments, any outstanding balances. In case if they have, it will get applied automatically. All the write-offs which needs to be done for the past residents, it will do it. So also for the write-offs, we have a setup whereby we can like choose, like for rent, it will go to a specific GL code. For security deposit, it will go to a specific GL code. For any of the incomes which are like not paid, it will go to the specific GL code as per the setup. So when the task runs, it will do all the reversals, all the writes-offs based upon the mappings which we have done in the system. So it will all be an automatic way. Again, after doing this step, it will close all the properties in one go. So all the properties which needs to be closed right now, it will go ahead, it will close the month of March, and it will start the month of April. Once the new month is updated, it will rebuild the GL for the previous month. So in this case, it will be March 23. It will rebuild the GL, and then all the GLs will, the balance for the GLs will look correctly. And post that, it will run the billing for the April month. It will post for all the residents, all the current residents. And then again, since we have the new balances, it will do the apply credits just in case if any credits are available for the residents. And also it will apply the prepayments which has done by the residents. So this helps the property managers in a lot better way. So basically, it reduces the work for the property management. All they have to do is like before close, make sure that everything is set up, all the movings are done, all the moves are done specifically, and then they just have to wait for this task to run overnight. And next day when they come, they can see that all the stuff has been done. So this helps them in planning in a better way. It reduces stress, their job task which they have to do. So this taskier job will get reduced. Also, in the previous slide, we have seen the process billing, the year-end close. So this year-end close can also be done in the same fashion. So all these steps are done in the year-ends also. So we can schedule the year-end close as well in the similar fashion. So this helps the property managers in a better way. So apart from this, we also provide the YARDI managed services. So basically, we have discussed about the digital outsource services for property accounting and the property onboardings. Similar way for the offboardings also, we can do it very easily with the structured way. We have the checklists. We have all the integrations which needs to be closed. So all those steps can be done through a specific structured manner. Apart from that, we do advisory services for the YADI services. We do managed services with L1, L2, L3 supports, which will be like 24/7, 24/5, and all those support models. We also do integrations with various applications such as RealPage, Conservice, ePremium. So we know how to do the setups, which specifically helps the property management. So basically, if you look at the Conservice handles the utility billings and the payments. So all we need to do is like provide them the details, and then they bifurcate those charges and bill it to the residents automatically using the APIs. And then they also make the payments and push the payments. So all we need to do is like provide them the details, and rest of the things are taken care. So these are like few of the details which we do for YADI managed services, including the implementation, data migrations as well. So this is like a brief summary of the services which we do for YADI managed services. So do you have any questions?
Yeah, I must say, Gaurav, it was really an informative session, for all of us. We know about YARDI, or if we don't know, we got an idea what are the YARDI capabilities, how it can help to our residential or commercial business, right? And how Rialtes can enable, those to have a swift switchover or enhancement to the current setup, correct? So, hello all, we have Q&A question and answer round open. You can find Q&A button bottom of your Zoom, and where you can click and you can ask your questions, right? And meantime, I have received one questions already. So Gaurav, so this question is related to property accounting that we talked about on this slide, right? So let's say owner or a property management client has a multiple property within their portfolio, right? And each
Mhm.
property has, like bunch of property has a different close date for them, like property closing date, right? So how they can manage, with YARDI, and how Realtors can help them out, if you can share some light on that.
Right, definitely. So yeah, most of the property management companies has different month-end close for the various funds and the properties. So assuming like we have 400 properties, out of which like 100 are getting closed on 12th of the month, few are getting closed on 18th of the month, few are getting closed on 24th, and few are getting closed on the month end. So what we can do is like within the property attributes, we can create a field which will be called as month end, and in those month end we can select the specific date for which they will be closing. So say few of the properties will select 18, few of the properties will select 12, few of the properties will select 24th, and so forth. So what task when we create the task, what we have to do is like we have to identify those properties which are getting closed on the different dates, and then this task will run on the daily basis, and it will look at the attributes, and then it will pull only those properties which are like getting closed on 12. So assuming like today is 29th, right? So in case if we have say 10 properties which are getting closed on 29, so the task will only look at the attribute. It will pull those properties which are getting closed on 29, and then it will run all the sets which we have, like the apply prepayment, apply credits, write-offs, and all those stuffs. So it will run only for those properties which will have the attribute of 29, which will be on today. So tonight it will run at the back end for those 10 properties only.
Perfect. Yeah. Thank you for that question. I hope you got the answer. We have the next question, and this question is actually, from my side as well. That as we have worked and at real estate, we I've seen this. Many of the clients are facing this issue, right? As we all know, right? Yardi is very conservative when it comes to opening their like integration platform or opening their site to
Mhm.
integrate with the different application, like a legacy application, right? So in this scenario, like obviously we have implemented something like this. If you can brief about this, how yardi can be integrated to a third party application to process the data.
Absolutely. And yeah, this is like one of the questions which every property manager company has. So they might have an application which will be used for a certain things, but there won't be an API sharing between these two applications. So usually what we do is like we like pull the data from those applications, and then we transform it into the ETL, and based upon the ETLs we can load it. So basically we can do this in an automated way as well. So all we need to do is like get the reports from the previous or the application which we want to integrate, and then do some macros, or probably load that report into a folder, and from that folder we can just extract the details. We can remove the columns, we can restructure those columns based upon the macros, or it can be done manually as well, depend on how bigger that task would be. And once those ETLs are created, we can put those into a folder. We can again use the task to pull the files within those folders and then upload that into our systems. So we can do that.
Perfect. So it is available, right, to do integration, correct, with the different platform or legacy application if they have, right? It is very much possible. So the next question that I am very much happy, that because Gaurav, you and I, we worked on this solution for one of our client, right? I remember for
Mhm.
the business intelligence, how we can, integrate Yardi, because we have everything in Yardi, right? When it comes to
Yeah.
residential or commercial property, all your data. So how we can,
Mhm.
have that data extract, go to the FTP location. It will save the data like residential payment, like if any backdated bills or if any utility bills are pending or any late payment fee, right? How it goes, and the file gets picked up, it pushed to the Power
Mhm.
BI, and then there you go. It's a dashboard is ready for the leadership, right? If you can let us know something about that, yeah.
Yeah, basically, definitely. So we have like the report scheduler. So say we want to see the late fee trend. So let's say we pull the data from YARDI. So report scheduler helps in like pull the data for the late fees, and we can get those details from our reports which we have created for our client. So we pull that report through the report scheduler. We put that into an FTP folder, and from that FTP folder, the other software, say for example BI, Power BI, it can pull that file, and in Power BI we will make those changes. Like the report will be updated uh, in a specific manner, in which we need the data, and once it pulls the file, converts that into the details which we have created, we can integrate it with the different softwares. It just we have to pull the report, put into the FTP. Other software will pull that from the FTP folder. It will restructure the report in the way we want, and then it will display the details like we need.
Perfect. Yeah, and just to add there, we have already worked on the solution, and we have implemented this, so we have good experience when it comes to integration with Power BI or let's say Tableau, right? Okay. So with having said that, we are running out of the time and we have last 2 minutes, so I want to take one more question. Gaurav, can you enlighten us, the one of the question which is for the in affordable housing, right? And conventional housing, right? So if you can give us some idea about it, and which are the other platforms that we have for the affordable housing as well.
All right. So for affordable housing, definitely we can use GRD, but right now we are using the Boston Post application. So question post application has the more robust details than YARDI. It has the details for the programs which we have. We can segregate the programs in specific manner. So right now, yeah, we are using question post for it.
Perfect. Yeah, but we have implemented YARDI affordable as well, right, for one of our
Yes,
client, and
definitely.
then yeah, and then it was integrated, correct? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so thank you everyone for joining the session. We are running out of time. I hope I would have been taken more questions, but yeah, if you have any questions, more questions, shoot an email to us at sales at rialtes.com to have a quick discussion on any of the topic that you want related to YARDI or real estate business. Let us know your pain area so we can find out a solution, or we can work together, to find a permanent fix for it, right? And then if you need any specific POC to be created for your environment, or your current situation, we are there to help you out. We can create a POC, we can showcase the, okay, this is how we are going to take care of this problem or pain area for you, right? And we can, discuss on that, and we can work together towards that, correct? Yeah, having said that, signing off, and thank you all for joining the session. Have a wonderful evening or day. Take care.
Thank you so much.